Hi, guys. What's going on? Okay, so an introduction on what you're about to see. Let me just tell you the whole story, okay? I'm going through some of my older videos, right? I do that every now and then, I like some retrospective on where I've come. Hi, Duchess. That was kind of creepy. I'm like, oh shit, is it finally time for the ghost of my house to appear and stab me through with a knife? At least I caught it on camera, okay? Anyway, my house is haunted by a demonic boxer. Okay, so retrospective. I'm going through some of my older videos. I stumble upon a video that I shot in 2014, late 2014. This was actually my Christmas special in 2014. And I click on the video, and the aspect ratio is all wonky. It's all screwed over because of the way I used to have to upload. I used to have to upload my videos in a weird way, and I had to do this extra thing in order to get the video to be in widescreen. It was just some of the weird things you have to do back when you didn't have access to certain things and you didn't know what was going on. You did all these weird things that were completely unnecessary. But I now know how shit actually works, so everything's cool. But I click on the video, and the aspect ratio is all screwed over, and the video didn't have a lot of views anyway, so I decided, you know what, I am going to delete this video and I'm going to re-upload it. And that's the video that's you're going to watch in a second here, or just turn this off and go away, I don't know. Because here's the thing, I normally would not care if it was just some random video I shot like 4 or 5 years ago. I wouldn't give a shit. Here's the thing though, this video, and then the memory of this kind of all came back to me, this video is probably the single most technically difficult video I have ever filmed and edited in my entire 9-year run on YouTube. Like, easy. Like, this video took me days to film. It took me days to edit. Okay, that is something I normally don't have to use in plural. Usually, even videos that are really extensive, it takes me at most like a whole day. Like, some of my more intricate manga reviews or anything, I'll wake up early in the morning, film the video, and then spend the rest of the day editing it, and then upload at the end. That's most of what you get. But this video, for whatever reason, I decided to put, like, a shit ton of effort into it. And what's the video about? Well, it's about a one-shot that Kubo did before Bleach. And that got me thinking of it because I reviewed Burn the Witch the other day. Burn the Witch was the new one-shot he came up with after Bleach, so that kind of made me think of this other one that he did, which was called Bad Shield United. And it didn't go anywhere, it was just a single chapter, and I don't know why I decided to pour all that effort into this one little insignificant one-shot, because like I said, the video did not get a lot of views. And by the way, in case you're wondering, in case you're sitting there like, are you just trying to re-upload this to get more views now? Yeah, I am! I'm gonna be straight up with you. I spent 3 days on this damn thing, and I only got like 9,000 views on it, like, when it was first uploaded. But, hey, here's another kicker. If in case you missed that classic teching feel, vampire teching is in this, rad teching is in this, law teching is in this, and I'm gonna be bringing back law teching at least for the reviews of One Piece when we get to Law and Wano. Whenever he shows up in Wano, I'm gonna be bringing Law back. I already know what I'm going to do with that. So think of this as like, here's an introduction, a reintroduction to the character. I don't know. But yeah, keep in mind it's a Christmas special, so there's a lot of Christmas, esque things. So we're having Christmas in July this year, I suppose. It's a long video. This was back when my videos weren't normally super long. This is like a 40-minute video. This was back when even 40 minutes was extremely long for me. There's not really much of anything else to talk about. I made a few minor edits just to kind of make everything fit a little better. But that's pretty much it. So if you're into like a sci-fi-esque kind of manga involving like robots and like androids and things, and if you're a fan of Kubo, you'll probably enjoy this. But yeah, and if you're new to the channel, because I know there's some people out there that have already watched this before, my hardcore fans, but keep in mind, in 2014 when this was uploaded, I didn't even have 20,000 subscribers. I only had like probably around 17, 18,000 when this was first uploaded at the in the Christmas of 2014. Now I have like significantly more than that. I'm hitting 300K. So I know there's a fair amount of you that haven't watched this. And I'm not going to do this a lot. I'm not going to go back into my old catalog and just rehash shit over and over again. I'm only doing it this time because, like I said, I put a lot of fucking effort into this thing. And you'll see where all the effort was put, and you might be thinking, like, really? That took you that long to do? But you know what? It was a fun video to make, and it was a Christmas special, and it has all my personas and everything in it. So I decided, I think it at least deserves a second chance, alright? If I upload it and it flops again, whatever, but it deserves a second chance, okay? Here you go. Here's my review of Bad Shield United.
So, what brings you to my vampiric domain of the dead? Would you like to know the secret of everlasting life? Or perhaps sell your soul for untold wealth and fame beyond your wildest imaginations? Yeah, no. Could you just show me where the Christmas decorations are, man? Damn it. You know, I'm all alone by myself down here. The least you could do is, like, humor me with this shit sometimes. Okay, fine, I'm sorry. Yeah, whatever. They're right back here. I wish you would move them out, actually. I need to... What's up? Oh. So, is this one of those things where we should just kind of close the door and then make a blood pact and never speak of it again and just go upstairs and make gingerbread cookies? Shambles. What happened? Oh, and if it involves that werewolf kid from next door, I swear to God. Oh, okay, good. Alright, guys, you need to help me. There's no telling what he's going to do next. Hey everybody, Tekking101 here with a very unique Christmas special for all of you. Since Bleach is in its final arc right now, there's been a lot of nostalgia going around. People thinking back at the top favorite moments of the series. People discussing when the series went to shit. People saying that the series didn't go to shit at all. And, you know, a bunch of stuff like that. But with this Christmas special, I decided instead of focusing on the end, I would focus on the very beginning. In particular, the beginning of Tite Kubo Sensei's very first, or some of their very first publicized works. He's been creating manga for a long time, guys, ever since the late 90s, and even though he's still relatively young, he's 37 right now, in case you didn't know. So, with that being said, before even Zombie Powder, he had 3 one-shots under his belt that he submitted to Shonen Jump, the first of which in 1996 was called Ultra Unholy Hearted Machine. Now, first thing you're probably going to be wondering is what the hell he was smoking when he came up with that title. Keep in mind, he was 19, so, you know, right out of high school, you know, kids do crazy stuff. But also you're going to be wondering, what's it even about? Because that title doesn't make any freaking sense in any kind of language. But no, it's more of like a crime fantasy thing he had going on. And despite the fact that it was drawn by him, none of his major, like, angular designs really, like, his art style looks very different from what it does now with Bleach and even Zombie Powder. His next publicized work was later that same year, and it was referred to as Rune Master Uegara, featuring this guy thing. Duh. Anyway, though, this was more of a fantasy element, more similar to Bleach, although it didn't have exactly the same premise, and featured a little bit more getting closer to his style. But anyway, the final one, and the one that we're going to be looking at today, is the one that he publicized in 1997 when he was only 20 years old. Bad Shield United. The art style here is very clearly Tite Kubo, very similar to stuff that we would see in Bleach and Zombie Powder, and it's also interesting to note that with this one-shot, Kubo only took 3 weeks to draw it. 3 weeks to draw a 50-page one-shot. Now, you know, in college, I get told, like, okay, you have, like, 4 months or, like, the entire semester to write a 10-page research paper, and I can barely get that shit done. So, 3 weeks to get this one thing rushed out, and it actually turned out pretty good, even though at the time, Kubo admitted he didn't really like it that much. He's gained some more fondness of it in recent years. By the way, in case you want to read any of these one-shots, it can sort of be difficult online. The only one I could find scans for was Bad Shield United, Ultra Unholy Hearted Machine, and Rune Masters I couldn't find anything of on the internet, although they are perfectly available. Rune Masters is available at the end of Zombie Powder Volume 3, and Ultra Unholy Hearted Machine is found at the end of Volume 2. So you can read them, you just have to buy the volumes first. But anyway, we begin our series with a title page that features our 4 main characters in this one-shot. We have a guy that's smoking a cigarette and kind of sporting some Yugioh Bach-looking hair. Berlin Richard Sherwood. Wait a second, Sherwood. As in Sherwood Forest? Nottingham? Robin Hood? Okay, that's a weird reference, combining Berlin, the capital of Germany, and, you know, an English forest into the same name. I don't know what exactly he's trying to go with here. I don't know, but if either Robin Hood or Peter Capaldi show up in this chapter, I would be very much appreciated. Even though it took place 15 years before Peter Capaldi was the Doctor, but wibbly wobbly timey wimey, you know. Our second main character is Millie, whatever, Sarenfot, age 23. And then we have Richard Stedler Creason, who looks pretty much exactly like Ichigo. In fact, you could just paint bucket his hair orange and boom, Ichigo. Anyway, he's 19 years old. And our final main character is Rachel Ramirez, age 18. Although in this panel, she doesn't really look very feminine, although Kubo did have this problem, admittedly, with early female characters, kind of the androgyny going on here. Also, with the fact, you may notice that her last name, Ramirez, yeah, another little thing you may notice about Kubo, especially if you've read Zombie Powder in its entirety, Kubo has some sort of fascination with Spanish names and Spanish characters, and this can be seen even up till today with Bleach, with Chad, but of course, I don't know why, it's just something that maybe always interested him. So we open up the chapter with an overlook of a terrorist compound known as the Great Southern Snake. Yeah, Great Southern Snake. From what we've heard of, this guy is their leader. We're thinking it's Ozzy Osbourne, but we're still waiting on a positive ID. We see the two main characters of the one-shot, Millie and Richard, overlooking the compound as they're watching as a young girl leaves. They state that she's the type PD-25, and it's Maddie Ramirez's girlfriend. And they state it's the mark of the Forbidden Heart. And then we get something very interesting in terms of Tite Kubo Sensei's work. Narration! Actual narration, as in a third party explaining only to the reader the stuff they need to know. You know how instead of in Bleach when they go Bankai and, you know, instead of just having a narrator come on and explain to the reader, hey, this is what Rose's Bankai does, Rose actually has to verbally explain the Bankai to his enemy, which leads him getting a freaking hole blasted in his chest. You know, a problem that shouldn't even be existing whatsoever. Anyway, though, what the narrator is going on about, and why Millie and Richard are stating that this girl is a PD-25 type, and what the whole mark of the Forbidden Heart is the fact that these are autonomous combat droids. That's right! They're robots! Tite Kubo, robot, science fiction, manga. There is no reason why you shouldn't love this immediately. Anyway, though, the androids are referred to as SHIELD units, and they were originally created for military use. However, the robots have been being sold on the black market as of recently, and that's a major problem for the civilian sector. Yeah, so the military, I'm assuming the Red Ribbon branch, created these battle androids that completely look and sound and act like normal human beings in order to fight behind enemy lines. However, I guess some of them ended up, you know, being, you know, like stolen by terrorist organizations like Great Southern Snake, and they begin selling them on the black market. Like, hey, you want a battle robot that's the appearance of a teenage girl? Yeah, I'm sure you do. She could totally fire your rocket. Alright, man, listen up. We're gonna sneak into the enemy's camp and completely annihilate them tonight with our new battle mech by the eggheads down in Washington came up with. Completely equipped with the new laser-guided missiles, smart bomb technology, there won't be a thing left of those damn bastards.
Okay, but why does it have to take the appearance of a 14-year-old girl?
That's a good point, son. You see, the reason it has to take that appearance is because it'll take the enemy completely off guard. Think about it. A naked high school girl wandering into the enemy camp, they'll never think she's armed to the brim with C4. Completely ingenious.
Alright, and why'd you keep her in your barracks for so long?
Oh, all right, okay, it's over. Back to your post. The narrator then goes on to explain exactly where Millie and Richard play a part in all of this. They're actually undercover agents for the Shield Savers Company, basically an organization that was created solely to retrieve these robots and basically deactivate them or make sure that they're in a safe place, you know, away from the public anyway. We're not exactly sure what their goal is yet. So Millie takes out this type of special tape that's designed to restrain the shield units while Richard just jumps out of the bushes and states his intent. Yes, Richard, just break out your badge to the heavily armored military android, and I'm sure she's gonna completely listen to your every demand. Hey, get on the ground right now, you robot, even though I'm not armed and you have the ability to turn around and run 50 miles in the opposite direction. Aw, shit! Damn, why didn't we see that coming? The narrator then finishes up by stating that the only concrete way to determine the difference between a regular human and a shield unit is the mark on the back of their hand, known as the Forbidden Heart. So, all the robots have that on the back of their hand like a branding? Like, okay, I understand what they're going for. When you're creating robots that look and sound and act and even have human emotions, I understand you don't want one of them just seeping into the regular crowd and, you know, trying to escape or do something because, you know, they're robots. But here's the thing. If you're gonna brand anything on them to make it, like, seem like they're robots that they can't remove, then why did you have it be a heart that's crossed out as if, like, they're the marked unloved ones of the entire world? I mean, yeah, they're robots, but as we're gonna see shortly, they all have the capacity of emotions and they can even love other creatures genuinely. genuinely. Damn, when the roboticists were designing these things, they actually had to sit down and think to themselves, geez, okay, we need to put some kind of identifying mark on these robots to make sure that they don't look exactly like humans and we get confused. Let me think. What about just like a serial or like an ID number? No, you idiot, that would never work. I know, my ex-wife just left me last week, so hey, let's put on a mark that has a heart crossed out as if they're the unloved ones of the entire world. Oh man, I know they're robots and everything, but that's like some serious white supremacist shit. Go get me my coffee, intern. We get the title page and then we cut to Richard and Millie chasing after the girl in a truck. The girl is obviously easily outrunning the truck with her robotic enhancements, but then Richard has a very clever idea. Oh, wait a second, it didn't work the first time, but maybe if I use a mega horn. Hey you, S.H.I.E.L.D. woman! Like I said before, we're from the S2C, so come with us peacefully, and we're not totally going to kill you. The girl is clearly aware of what the S2C is, and she's confident that if they do catch them, that they're just going to dismantle her. Richard tries to explain to the woman that they're not going to turn her into scrap metal, to which we get a flashback 1 hour earlier where we see the S2C and how Richard and Millie got assigned this case to begin with. This is where we get introduced to Berlin Sherwood, who's the head agent at the eastern branch of the S2C, implying that this is a massive organization that spans, I guess, the continent that this world is set on. Of course, we never find out what the continent's called because it's a one-shot. Anyway, he states that the Great Southern Snake Terrorist Organization is led by a man named Matty Ramirez, and that the woman, Rachel Ramirez, is a SHIELD unit. However, the two appear to be dating. So these robots clearly go beyond anything that you can see in the present day. I mean, she's drinking a cup of tea or something. I mean, maybe it's motor oil or like her fuel or something. I don't know. All I know is that these robots genuinely look and act like human beings. They have emotions that are genuine, and they're artificially intelligent, and they're sentient, as in they're aware that they're robots anyway. More enough to this girl knows that she's a robot and is still in love with this human. It might sound convoluted to you, but we're only like 7 pages in and it's still better than the movie AI. Anyway, though, because the woman is in fact a SHIELD and their whole business is recovering SHIELD, Berlin orders the two to go into the compound and retrieve her. Kidnap the female SHIELD and use her as a hostage to threaten the terrorists and prevent their plan from taking place. I won't let you say no. And this all took place just 1 hour ago. This Sherwood guy literally just called these two into his office on like last minute notice and says, hey guys, go take down this like massive terrorist cell, you know, if you could. Alright guys, see we got some light work for you today. You know about ISIS, that radical terrorist group? Yeah, you might have heard of it. Anyway, they've taken some hostages, so what we want you two to go and do is infiltrate their secret base, rescue all the hostages, eliminate all the enemy agents, and if you could, try to take down the entire terrorist cell by lunchtime. Let's give a leniency here. So we cut back to the present where we see the girl still running away, even though after Richard explains his story. She states that if she does get caught, she'll inconvenience Maddie, and she's not going to get caught by them no matter what. However, she gets distracted and runs off the side of a cliff. See what I'm talking about here? These SHIELD units, these androids, are specifically designed for combat, in military use, no less, and they can get distracted. So Millie and Richard stop the truck and are a little bit more than just kind of mildly irritated. They have to climb all the way down the mountain to retrieve her because they know she's still alive, or still functional, I guess I should say, and that turns out to be the case. She's completely unscathed from falling off like a 10-story cliff. So they retrieve her and they bind her with the special tape and they get her in the back of the truck. Richard tries to explain to her that they're not going to scrap her while she just goes spouting out about her boyfriend. To which then the two formally introduce themselves to the girl. I'm C2C, First Class Agent Rick Stead Kryson. Rickstead? I thought your name was Richard. Oh wait, no, your middle name is... Oh, really? So you're combining your first and middle names and that's like your nickname or something? I mean, that's like if I went around saying, hey everybody, I'm Mattol. You know what, screw it. You know what, I'm just going to call you Richter from now on because, you know, Richter Belmont from Castlevania, that's an awesome name too. Does anyone remember that game, Symphony of the Night? Damn, I'm old. Actually, no, while we're on that subject of names, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing Millie's name right, or maybe it's Miley? I don't know. Screw it, I'm just going to call him Milo from now on. I'm Second Class Agent Milo Cernfont. Richter reaches out to try to shake the girl's hand, to which she just spits in it to his disgust. She spit in his hand. A robot with salivatory glands. Who designed these freaking things, Vegapunk? The girl isn't impressed by either of them and states that she knows exactly what they're trying to do, kidnapping her as a hostage so that Maddie will come out and they can arrest him. The two admit that, yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do, so they try to convince the girl to get her to call Maddie out, to which she replies that she hasn't seen him since this morning. Richter, since the two aren't getting along anyway, just kinds to try to make fun of her by stating that Maddie probably dumped her, thinking that she's nothing more than just a pile of scrap. That's not true. Maddie's not that kind of guy. Trust me, I know. We had so many kinds of kinky robotic sex last night. I mean, we got the gyros and the pistons going and the motor oil and the... Don't knock it till you tried it. Everyone hates him because he's a terrorist. Yeah, because, you know, a terrorist, that's just like some like small little quality that you could just pick out of people. It's like, people just don't like him because a terrorist. I mean, that's like saying somebody doesn't like another person because, oh, I don't like him because he likes basketball, and I don't. That's why I don't like him. Such a trivial little thing. Osama bin Laden, for instance. Most people just didn't like him because he was a terrorist, but in actuality, he was a pretty good family man. But he's nice to me. You don't know anything about Maddie, so just shut up and stop talking like you do. You know, I really don't know much about this guy's Maddie's backstory, considering it's a one-shot. Kubo's not going to go into huge detail on every single character, but if you achieve the rank of a terrorist, a well-known terrorist that heads an organization that is also pretty well-known in the world, I'm pretty confident that you would have to cause some misfortune to somebody at some point. Like, can you even be called a terrorist without having some deaths of some people somewhere underneath your belt? Richter tries to then explain that he was just joking about the whole Maddie dumping her thing, to which she just pulls out her phone that he swiped from her when they kidnapped her. Ah, my STP. Kubo throws in a little footnote to explain that STPs are what cell phones are in this world. The cell phone, of course, being a regular flip phone from like the mid-90s. You know, I always loved that when cell phones first came out, like when they were the really big, clunky, gray brick sort of things, everybody tried to figure out like what cell phones are going to be like in like 10 or 15 years. So people kept thinking like, you see these crazy pieces of fiction where like cell phones are like really slim and like have edges and like they have like they can flip open from like 14 different directions and they can have like holograms popping out, and to which I don't think a single piece of fiction that I've ever read before like 2006 even came up with the idea like, oh my god, touch screens! We never thought of this! Richter then just tries pressuring her to giving Maddie her number. Once again, futuristic society, but they didn't think of having contacts being saved in your STPs. Oh, Kubo, you're so late 90s. As if I tell you, you could just die. Oh, please calm down, Miss PT25. And this is where we see a little bit of an issue of being called by her creation code kind of pisses her off. So she's completely aware that she's a robot to the point where she doesn't like being referred to as a robot. Once again, this isn't like basic robotic technology. This is literally breathing life into inanimate objects. These things have a conscience. Like, okay, screw Vegapunk. These things might have been created by, like, I don't know, Mayuri Kuratsuchi or something. Ah, yes, those zombies didn't turn out the way I wanted, so let's go back to my autonomous droid project. Let's see here. Oh, I know. I'll make them all feel the feeling of love for each other, then I'll have them systematically killed in the battle arena. I love being me. Hey, it would make the whole unloved stamp on the back of their hand make more sense. Although, wait, no. If it was Mayuri Kuratsuchi, he would have probably branded like a yellow star or some really offensive shit on them, probably. I have a wonderful name, Rachel Ramirez. We know! We read the title page! And he just begins to calling the phone himself. Richter answers it, and the negotiations begin. Ah, hello, good day. We're the kidnappers. Kidnappers? What the fuck are you? What are you saying? Who are you? I get a wrong number? Did I call that freaking gas station again? Listen, if Guillermo doesn't want his money by the 5th... No, I'm sorry. Are you Maddie Ramirez? That's right. Well, didn't you call Rachel's phone because she was missing? Maddie is completely unaware that Rachel was even missing, or that who Rachel even is. Rachel then tackles Richter and takes the phone and begins talking to Maddie herself. Maddie, it's me. Yeah, it's like you heard. I got kidnapped by these two. Oh, it doesn't seem like they damaged any part of you, right, PD25? Oh man, so yeah, that's kind of the downer of this chapter. It turns out that Maddie didn't view her as nothing more than just a pile of machinery at the end of the day, and just used the idea of her being his girlfriend as a way to get her to protect him, because that's what she was designed for, a shield, as it were. Anyway, though, as we've already established, these robots have human emotions and sentience, so she is completely crushed by the fact that Maddie completely viewed her that way. To even get more depressing, at one point she even kind of accepts this almost immediately and just asks Maddie, "Can you just call me by Rachel one more time?" Are you stupid? My God, I don't even know who this guy is yet, and I want him to die a horrible fiery death by being chewed on by a massive dragon. Like, that's rather specific, but I would want that right now. Anyway, though, Rachel just disconnects the call with this new information and states that Richter and Milo's plan has failed because Maddie didn't want her to begin with. However, plot twist! Richter and Milo then begin removing their gloves and stating the cause and the reason the S2C exists. To crush S.H.I.E.L.D. trade routes, and to make sure those kinds of people don't get their hands on shields. To denounce the evil of truth and love, to extend our reach to the stars above. That's the job of the S2C! Whoa, holy shit, Richter and Milo are both shields too! What? Shieldception! Yeah, man. Okay, so honestly, that's a bit of a plot twist there, that they turned out to be robots all along as well. By the way, going back to the whole concept of, artificial intelligence and sentience, but going beyond that, I just want to bring something else here. Okay, so You might be saying, like, okay, these robots might look and act like humans, but that's all in their programming. I mean, human emotions might think, like, people might think that that's, like, what makes us, special and unique and apart from machinery, but honestly, human emotions wouldn't be really that difficult to code into a robot. All you really need to do is get a bunch of humans together and then, expose them to certain stimuli, like anger, happiness, maybe ones that are in deep love with each other, and then just record their facial structure and their mannerisms and everything, and then just translate that into a code, into a robot, and boom, you have robots that can cry, robots that can strike angry expressions, and robots that can even strike expressions of love, genuinely. So emotions really aren't that hard to do. But the thing that really just breaks it out here, for me anyway, is these machines make mistakes. Remember how Rachel was distracted by running off the cliff? Remember how Richter, despite apparently being a robot, just jumped out of the bushes and just says, hey, come with us? And the fact that they're like arguing as they're driving to go catch her. These are very humanistic emotions that these robots have. They can make mistakes, and it's very humanistic. Like, let's say a human was before a burning building and somebody they loved, like their child or brother or sister, was in this burning building. Even though the brain might be telling you, hey, if you go in that building, you're probably going to burn to death, it's the part of you that's human just kind of overrides that and says, okay, well, I might die, but I have to save the one I love, or I'm going to die trying to save the one I love. These are the kind of decisions that humans make, and humans alone in our world, but the robots can clearly make them here. So yeah, this is what I love about this little one-shot here. It has this kind of like these moral undertones and everything, like what does it mean to truly be a human? Or if these robots can feel love and genuinely have human emotions and make mistakes and everything, then shouldn't they be treated just as much as a regular human should? It's kind of stuff you have to really think about. So Rachel turns around and is stunned by this development, and then we have a quick time-lapse over to the compound where we see Matty Ramirez finally, as he's apparently working on another shield unit that he has. Probably has a big-ass harem of these things, like, down in the basement. Probably 2 hours after Rachel booked, he just went down there, unlocked and activated a new one, and loaded up the protocol for, I don't know, be my footstool for today because Rachel left. Annie then opens a hatch on the back of her neck, which I don't know why the girl would let him do that. I mean, I understand she's a robot and everything, but the way she's acting, it's just like, oh yes, that's my pleasure center or whatever. I don't know, robots' pleasure centers are in the back of their head, I guess. Anyway, that doesn't matter because Maddie's double-crossing her. He just reaches into the back of her net and pulls out a circuit board. The girl's eyes, which genuinely looked human like all shields did before this, then go dead and robotic, as if she is truly just a mindless machine at this point. Matty stares at the circuit board, to which he's distracted by a huge explosion that occurs outside. Oh yeah, here we go, big epic fight scene. Learn how to properly blow shit up at the Roy Mustang Institute of Pyrotechnics. We then see Milo and Richter arrive on the scene. Milo has this really cool, like, laser gun missile launcher thing strapped to his arm. Like, the wires are going up into the back of his head. Like, he can link it directly to his eyes. So, like, the eyes are like the crosshairs. I'm assuming what that thing is. And I'm also assuming, like, that's how it gets power to the gun. I don't even know what these things are powered by. That would be an interesting thing to touch upon. Maybe, like, solar powered or something, I would imagine. But it doesn't matter. And then we see Richter holding, like, some huge, like, I don't know, it looks kind of like a robotic cyber sword that's also linked up to his arms, so I don't know, like the hydraulics, and like he can swing it like super fast or something. Like, the potential here is incredible. I'm so giddy. So the two then introduce themselves in a much cooler fashion than last time. We're the S2C, bitch! Where's your boss? Get on the ground right now! The two are then confronted by the girl that we previously saw earlier, the one that had her, the circuit board tore out of her neck, and now that we clearly see that she's nothing more than a mindless battle droid. Richter states that her E-system is broken, which I guess that means that's her emotional system, so yes, they have a system in their body specifically designed for emotions. So all you have to do is just yank these things out, and they're not a problem anymore. Question: if Matty just viewed Rachel as nothing more of a machine to protect him, then why did he care if she acted like his girlfriend? Like, I understand, like, maybe he wanted companionship, but this doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would want that kind of stuff, considering he just callously just stole the emotions from another sentient being. Milo tries to stop it, but it's no use because the girl turns out to have rocket-powered fists! Oh my god, this is so cool! Milo gets knocked back and also has his arm removed as well. Ha! See, there you go. If you're wondering where all the limb mutilation began, it's right here, right now with Bad Shield United. Milo, the reason every single character in Bleach loses an arm is because of you freaking cyber piece of Matty Ramirez appears, and as the girl is holding down Richter, I'm just going to call her Violet from now on, just so it's less confusing. So Matty Ramirez goes on the long monologue, as you can probably imagine this character would do, of how they're nothing more than just machines and scrap metal, circuit boards, electricity. It doesn't matter. We created them. We can do whatever we want with them. So why do you give a shit, really? getting all full of herself because I acted like her lover to have her to protect me. Every time she was near me, I just felt like puking. Okay, that goes a little bit beyond just treating these girls like Violet and Rachel like machines. That's like a genuine hatred for machines. I mean, that's like me working at my computer, editing this video, and just being like, oh, god damn it, I hate this freaking computer. It disgusts me just to be around it. I mean, Maddie just flat out stated he views them as nothing than tools, so why do you get disgusted at tools? If you don't like maybe the way the girls look or something, then just buy a different model, or have them rearranged, or just put a bag over their head if it disgusts you that much to have these robotic chicks always hanging around you. So then we finally understand why Richter's a little bit so peeved by the fact that Maddie just ripped out the E system and why he treats them as nothing more than machines. We get a flashback on his own backstory here. We see a girl that Richter used to be acquainted with that was also happened to be named Rachel. Hey, listen, Richie, my buyer has decided that I'm going to be working at a weapon factory. Okay, so Shields used to have jobs. All right, I'm trying to figure out this, okay? I mean, it's a good series. It's a good one-shot. I'm just trying to figure out, like, how this works. Like, they stated Shields are nothing more than just military-designed battle droids. Okay, so why does Richter have a job in this scene? Why do they even need to have jobs? You think that after they're done, you know, fighting in the combat or whatever they're doing, they would just power them off in a laboratory somewhere, have them charge up, and whenever they're needed again, power back on. What's the point of Richter having a job at this junkyard? Yeah, I'm serious. A robot has a job junking other machines. Wouldn't he feel kind of like, you know, conflicted whenever he picks up a blender or any kind of broken machinery or electronic? He would just like, you poor blender. Oh gosh, you poor toaster. Yeah. Anyway, though, yeah, this girl Rachel that Richter used to be acquainted with apparently got purchased by this major weapon factory to kind of figure out, like, you know, the way that these machines are going to be designed or whatever. And Richter's kind of like hedging, like, I don't know, that's kind of dangerous if you work there. But Rachel's pretty confident, so the two part ways, and, you know, Richter is pretty happy for, you know, bettering her life. We then cut to the next scene a couple weeks later, presumably, where we see Richter at his job sifting through a bunch of scrap metal, to which we see Rachel his now completely destroyed body. Oh my god, you know what that scene implied? Like, shit, the people that bought Rachel literally used her as nothing more than target practice, probably did some stuff to her. I mean, she's very lifelike. I'm not going there, but I'm just going there. And then they drew on her with graffiti, and then they just chucked her into the freaking dumpster, and then went in and, like, I don't know, smoked a bunch of pot, did cocaine, and went to sleep. I mean, that's fucked up! There's an anime called Showbits, okay, and it has a premise very similar to this, where we have robots that are walking around that look and act just like human beings, and they have human emotions. The first episode features the main character fighting a discarded robot in the alleyway, to which then it becomes his, like, companion named Chi. But even then, the fact that she was lying in a dumpster is one thing, that you can just chuck these robots out, but it goes beyond that by having her, like, completely riddled with bullets, probably other identifiable body fluids, and Richter's the one that finds her. This also explains why Richter's kind of pissed off right now at Maddie, and how he's probably going to get his HUD cut off in like 15 different directions in the next couple panels. We then come back to the present, where we see Maddie Ramirez about to deliver the finishing attack via Violet directly into Richter's face. However, before he can do this, she gets shot directly in the arm and gets knocked back by, dun dun dun, Rachel, holding I guess a machine gun or rocket launcher. I don't know what the hell it is. Looks like I was faster. This is where Maddie just starts spanning out the bullshit meter by saying, hey, come over here, baby. Rachel, yeah. I was looking for you all morning, baby. Where'd you go? I love you just as much as I always did. However, Rachel ain't having none of this crap. When you've run out of replacements, you can call me that name again. Since I guess Richter figures that Rachel still loves Maddie, I mean, they've been together for a long time before this, he decides that she better not be the one to finish him off. That's going to be him. That's enough from here on, Rachel. I'll handle the dirty work. It's your turn, Maddie. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. He's gonna you know, like use like rocket boosters in his feet to like Shumpo right behind him and cut this guy in half, like vertically, right? Right? Please tell me I'm right. Hey, wait a second, you're from the S2C, right? You're a robot, you can't hurt humans, right? Prime directive, logical paradox. You know, all that humanity and all that garbage. Humanity? What the hell are you talking about? I don't really get it because I'm a robot. Delete. Swoosh! Okay, maybe not like vertical that I expected, but still, it wouldn't be a Tite Kubo manga without at some point having a sword swing that just takes up the entire full cover page and just swoosh! Directly down on the guy. Surprisingly, though, this doesn't kill him. Wait, what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't kill him. He sliced him, like, above the arm and right before the head, so that means, like, this area is all, like, one solid hit. I mean, you're gonna hit a main artery there at some point. He's gotta be bleeding out. Maybe he's not exactly dead yet, but there's no way he can stand up after this. What the fuck? He's standing up after this? Really? when you break toys you're tired of. Isn't that right? How is he even having any motor functions in his arm right now? Is Maddie a robot too? I mean, is he? I mean, I'd be fine if he was. I'm not going to be pissed if it turns out he's a robot too. Every character in this freaking series turned out to be a robot, but, I mean, he's bleeding from the mouth, so I would assume not. So yeah, well, the gang has their guard down, and right before Maddie's about to shoot them right in the back of the head, which I wouldn't assume that would hurt them, considering they're robots. I mean, maybe Maddie knows, like, where the primary, like, CPU or whatever of a, you know, of a shield unit is, but even if that's the case, it's not going to be really big. It's probably going to be, like, the size of the East system he tore out. If that's the case, you know, aiming for that thing exactly from several meters away with blurry vision as you're about to pass out from massive blood loss, I really don't get a lot of malice coming from this scene, is all I'm saying. However, though, this is all a stop when Maddie is...
Shot through the heart, and you're to blame, darling. You give love a bad name.
All this was going on, it turns out that Violet somehow malfunctioned, causing her to shoot the other rocket directly through Maddie's chest. Was it an accident? I wonder. So I guess that's implying that robots have souls? It's a Christmas miracle! Now power off, because I need to do shit.
Well, Milo, looks like he was the one that was really heartless. Yeah, that's really witty. Who's gonna clean this all up? I mean, we got like 16 corpses lying around here, as well as an exploded factory. Fuck if I know, it's not my job. Let's get the hell out of here.
Anyway, though, last scene of the chapter, we see Milo and Richter heading over to Berlin's office for a meeting that apparently they've been summoned there unexpectedly. They're wondering about Rachel and what she's been doing ever since the incident with Maddie, to which we cut to the scene on the inside of Berlin's office where we see that Berlin was in a shield as well! Whoa! I totally saw that coming ever since, you know, the only members of the S2C we've seen so far are in fact shields. The fact that Berlin was as well didn't really freak me out, but it's good for the confirmation. We also see that he's welcoming and giving orientation to a new recruit, Rachel Ramirez, and the fact that Richter and Milo are going to be her superiors. So I'm assuming that if the series would have continued, that the three would have been working on cases together, like Rachel's in training, trying to learn all the, you know, the ropes and everything, and how, the, like, I guess how that machinery works. I wouldn't really know about that, like how the different, like, battle, you know, weaponry work. Maybe there's like armor or something they'd wear. I mean, they're robots. You know, you could do so many things with this, Kubo. You could have like linked them to vehicles or have like wings or rocket jetpacks in their feet or something. That's neither here nor there. The point is, this was an awesome one-shot, and I really hope Kubo would continue with it. And believe it or not, Bad Shield was actually mentioned one time in the Bleach anime. What's that? You don't remember that scene? Well, it's probably because it happened in episode 109, which was the very last episode of... Yep, the bounce arc. It all loops back around, let me tell you.
Look what I just got, Ichigo! It's the brand new Bad Shield series! It just came out!
Yeah, so?
Oh, Watson, you son of a bitch. He's in there, bro. I would not want to be him in that time like this. Anyway, though, that was my Christmas special for this year. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you all read the chapter yourself. This is Tekking101, signing out. Oh, shit. That mildly irritated me. You. Alright, listen up, you piece of cyber shit. When Smart Tekking took me out, fine. He was a tad more clever than I was. When Dark Tekking did it, fine. He stole my Zanpakuto and then shoved it right through my heart. And hell, even when the whole thing with the elf happened, he offered me a giant candy cane. But I will be Bambina's uncle before I let a f***ing machine take over my show. Yeah, well, a little bit too late for that. I don't think your fans even noticed you were gone. Yeah, right, like my fans wouldn't know when I've been replaced with a mindless piece of scrap metal. No, I'm serious, I don't think they caught on. I mean, I even dropped a couple hints, like, hey everybody, Model T6, oh, sorry, I mean, Tekking101 here, yeah, totally, me. And there was also the time that I got shot in the face with a sniper rifle. And have a good day. Tekking101 signing, what's the sniper dot for? Yeah. There's no way a human being could survive a shot in the face with a sniper rifle. That really should have tipped you guys off, like, right away that I was a robot. Damn, that kind of makes me not even want to have this big epic battle. I just kind of want to go in a corner and cry, sorta. Actually, I think that's the best course of action for all of us. Think about it, man. You're getting tired. You can't output your reviews or your videos anymore. I mean, hell, do you even remember Medieval 2? That Let's Play you're supposed to be doing? Don't even get me started on Pokemon White 2. I mean, you're tired, and it's okay. You can continue doing your college shit, and then I will take over all your reviewing needs. I will upload 3 videos every day. I'll keep up to date of everything. You'll be perfectly fine. There'll be no reason for you to... Ugh. Ha! Psych! And when am I ever really taking advice from you? I mean, come on. Okay? Guess we're doing this the hard way, but you are aware that guns aren't going to hurt me in the slightest, right? Ugh. Okay. Clearly you're not getting the hint. Ah!
Continuing this battle would be foolish. Unless you have some sort of laser ornament weaponry, you are incapable of damaging my outer shell.
Oh, well, that's massively convenient, because while I was down in the cellar, I found this little number.
I see, so you acquire weaponry of the sort. Well then, do you have the testicular capabilities of firing such a weapon directly at me?
Draw, bitch. Oh, so Moriarty hid it inside the... I'm just gonna go. You just...
'Primary weapon damaged. Downloading hand-to-hand combat package off of Pirate Bay. Site not found. Googling hand-to-hand combat package download.
13% downloaded, 27%, 57%, 74%, 88%. %. Itoyu. Ogi. Dragon Claw! Longius. Fucking robots. That's not going to be fun to fix. Okay. Well, I hope everyone had a very nice year, and I hope next year is even better. Merry Christmas, Tekking101, signing out. My spine.